Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, and some very interesting news this weekend. In lieu of no Rainbow Cup action, there will be some South African rugby to watch, apart from the Master Cup semi-finals, in fact, which is the semi-finals on Friday. But on Saturday at 4 o'clock South African Standard Time, we will be seeing the Cheetahs back in action. They are up against the Toyota Invitational side in what is being called the Toyota Invitational match at, amazingly enough, the Toyota Stadium. So basically it's kind of a one-off match that they put together because the Cheetahs aren't playing any rugby at the moment, which wouldn't be, obviously it's a big issue, but the reason why it's such a big issue is because there are potential Springbok players within that Cheetah side. Think of your Frans Steins, think of Roscoe Speckman, who might get a call-up. So it's quite important that these players play some rugby. And so what Toyota have done is put together an invitational squad and of players, fringe players pretty much from around the unions, who haven't really had an opportunity to play within the Rainbow Cup, and they all want to come together this week. And they're going to, under the stewardship of Don Human and Ricardo Lopesha, they are going to take on the Cheetahs on Saturday. So before we look at the squad itself and some of the players who have been included, please do smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. The final team will be announced on Friday morning. Apparently, I think the Cheetahs team might even be announced tomorrow. Also some very interesting stuff. Rassie Rasmus and Jacques Nienaber will be addressing the press for the first time this year. On Friday, we're going to be part of that as well, so we'll let you know what's going to happen there. Apart from that, we're going to do 5 things learned from the Rainbow Cup. That'll be up later tonight, so there still will be a bit of rugby content. So thank you to Toyota for helping us out, because we weren't going to do anything this weekend. We will be live for this match covering it. We'll also have a preview, a review, all the sort of standard thing that we always do for these sort of matches. So in terms of the squad, this is what we're looking at in terms of the Toyota Invitational. These are the forwards, and you'll recognize a couple of names who played throughout the sort of Currie Cup, and a couple of players that you might not have seen yet. So we've got Dan Jooste, Jean Drosti, Jean-Andre Lobuskakni, Johan de Toy, Kwesi Mona, Quenzo Blosser, Marnus van der Merwe, Mark Kumbarai, Matlali Mosi, Renier Viljoen, Rudolf Smit, Ruan Strauly, Sadi Sandi, and WJ Steenkamp. So it's quite interesting, because I think certain players you probably think we would have seen more of. And the one that sort of strikes me as the big name there is Rudolf Smit, who, was part of South Africa Springbok setups, and yet appears to be fit and not playing for the Lions. So I'm not quite sure what's happening there. That's quite an interesting one. Mark Kumbarai as well, somebody who featured quite a bit for the Sharks last year, hasn't really had an opportunity at the moment. Johan de Toy we have seen for the Stormers, and he will be in action this weekend. And then obviously you've got 2 Cheetahs players there as well. Marnus van der Merwe, a very nice player. And then Renier Viljoen, a Cheetahs under 20 player. So quite a couple of big names there. Ruan Strauly is obviously the son of Rudolf Strauly, the Lions CEO. Sadi Sandi is a former SA under 20 player. Dan Jooste, we obviously seen it at the Sharks. So some decent players there. Very interesting to see how this all sort of lines up in the final 23. If it's actually going to be a final 23, or if they might actually sort of name a bit like a preseason 25, 26 players, so that all these players can get opportunity to get onto the field. I'm not quite sure what the final sort of decision will be there. It is currently also a Springbok alignment camp this week. A couple of players are involved there. And I think for this, it's a bit of a trial, I think, for a couple of players. I mean, players like a Roscoe Speckman, maybe even a Clayton Blommetjies, who might be sort of sitting there on the fringes, and they might be thinking, are they worth a bit of a roll of the dice? So they definitely think Roscoe Speckman's on the Springbok radar. So hopefully it's an opportunity for those sort of players to run out against these type of players and see what they can do. In terms of the backs for this weekend, this is what we've got. So it was Corne Smith, Dylan Smith from the Lions, Ini Radebe from the Elephants. Obviously fractured his hand. We didn't get to see him much during the preparation series, but he does look like he's playing some very good rugby. Jason Alexander, JP Duvenacher, Keegan Johannes, Leland Zass, Richard Creel, Shane Bolton, and Tristan Lane. So I think the big names there are, Dylan Smith played a lot of games for the Lions. Ini Radebe is very interesting to see what he can do. Leland Zass, Richard Creel, and Tristan Lane, we've seen some. Jumbo Ling was another player who's kind of sort of fallen by the wayside. And it'll be quite interesting to see if these players play well. Do their unions suddenly draft them back in? Is it the case of they've kind of fallen to the wayside and haven't really had an opportunity to maybe make a mark with their unions? So for some of these players, I suppose it's another opportunity to try and sort of put their hands up for selection. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a very interesting game, just because it's, you're not playing for anything. There's no sort of trophy or anything like that. It's players getting onto the field and saying, this is what I'm about, and saying to my union, you need to be picking me, or maybe saying to other unions, come in and get me, come in and sign me. I'm a player that can add value. So it's always very interesting when you see games like this with players playing with no fear and pretty much nothing to lose, everything to gain. It's always interesting to sort of see the individuals that stand up. It kind of shows a lot about the sort of character of an individual, where they can stand up in these sort of moments and be counted. If nothing else, it gives us a bit of rugby to watch this weekend. No European Champions Cup, that's all down. Challenge Cup's all down. Obviously, it still is a bit of Pro 14 in the Northern Hemisphere, but no Rainbow Cup for us in the Southern Hemisphere. No Lions, no Bulls, no Sharks, and no Stormers this weekend as they get a weekend off. They'll all be back next week, and obviously we'll be back to our full coverage of the Rainbow Cup next week. Now, make sure you please subscribe to the channel. If you are new, as I said, we're going to have press conferences and stuff like that from Rassi Rasmus and Jean-Claude up on Friday, so that'd be really, really cool. So make sure you are part of the channel so you get to see that. As always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.